strictly for the protection of the federal personnel and the protection of the federal building. They're allowed to temporarily detain and wait for law enforcement to come and arrest them. They do not do any arrest. They are strictly there to detain, to wait for law enforcement to come and handle those demonstrators.
So that was commander of the National Guard units that have been federalized and deployed to the streets of Los Angeles. He later confirmed that some of his troops have already temporarily detained civilians at these protests. Now, joining me now is Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Budget and Appropriations Committee. Senator, very grateful to have you here. This acknowledgement that the National Guard has, they say, temporarily detained civilians. We were just talking with our John Miller Long of the NYPD, who clarified that if you are detained and then not allowed to leave, that there is no technical distinction between that and being under arrest. Do you think a major line has been crossed here?
Well, Casey, I'm still trying to understand. I just left a 5-hour reconciliation meeting, so this is a new issue for me. May I ask, why were they detained? Were they breaking the law, or why were they detained?
Well, this is
a central question.
In fairness to you, this is our breaking just in to us, and then all we know is that it's been in the context of these protests, and they characterized it as having temporarily detained protesters.
Well, under federal law, which applies to the states, the case is called Terry v. Ohio. If a law enforcement official doesn't have probable cause to arrest you, but does have reasonable suspicion, which is a lower standard, to believe that you have been or about to commit a crime, the Supreme Court has said that law enforcement official can stop you temporarily if they think you have a weapon. For example, if there's a bulge in your jacket, they can frisk you, but they can't detain you for long periods of time without probable cause. It's called stop and frisk, reasonable suspicion, Terry v. Ohio, and it's determined on a case-by-case basis.
And are you comfortable, of course, I think the distinction here being, we do know, according to these reports, that these people were being held to be turned over to law enforcement officials with the authority to decide whether these people should be charged with something. Are you comfortable with these federalized National Guard troops having taken that step?
Well, it depends on why they were detained. If they were detained just because they were protesting and they weren't breaking the law, no, I wouldn't be comfortable with National Guard or local police doing that. On the other hand, if they were in the midst of a riot and were breaking the law, let me put it another way. If somebody's about to throw a rock at me, I hope somebody will detain them, whether it's a National Guard troop or a local cop or a CNN reporter. I hope you'll stop them. But every case is different. Every single case is different.
So, Senator, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said earlier today, quote, we're not scared to go further. We're not frightened to do something else if we need to. She was talking about the situation in LA. How do you wish the Trump administration would handle these confrontations? Do you want them to be escalatory, considering what we're seeing on our TV screens? Or do you think it would be better for the country if everyone tried to de-escalate the situation?
Well, nobody wants to see riots. I mean, I would prefer to have local government handle it. I mean, the situation we have here, we have a lot of peaceful protests, and that's fine. That's America. You have the right to do that. But they're not all peaceful protests. A lot of them are turned into riots with people breaking the law, and the people doing that are gangsters, and they're goons, and they're acting like it. Those folks have to be stopped. Look, I love Los Angeles. I love the people of Los Angeles. I think it's one of the greatest cities in the world. I wish this would stop. But someone is going to have to stop the gangsters that are doing this. I'd prefer to have the governor and the mayor do that. They were not able to do that. If they can't do it, then it's the role of the federal government to step in. Hopefully the mayor and the governor will get control of this situation and the federal government can leave. I'm interested in public safety. I'm not really interested in whether this helps Gavin Newsom become president or helps President Trump's poll numbers or any of that. I don't care about that.
I mean, briefly, Governor Gavin Newsom seems very aware of the political situation. Do you think he's handling this the right way?
I don't think he's handled it well. I think he dug up more snakes than he could kill. I think, and maybe this is unfair, but I can only tell you what I've seen. I think that the governor thought this was a chance to suck in the federal government, and then he could make an argument that the federal government was overreaching, and see, we told you so. Trump was going to try to establish military rule in America.
You think he was baiting Donald Trump?
I do. Yeah, I do, and I think it backfired on him. I think he should have restored order first in our city with the help of the mayor. I think they underestimated how serious these goons were, and he lost control of it. And President Trump stepped in, the federal government stepped in. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think the good people of Los Angeles, all they care about is they just want it to stop. Stop burning cars and stop throwing rocks at people. Just stop it.
All right.
That's what I want.
Senator John Kennedy, thanks very much for your time today, sir. We'll be right back.